Today we're cleaning! Alright, so on the last installment, I made a huge mess. As you can see, there is kitty litter everywhere. I don't have a cat, but this is a good reason to make sure you have kitty litter around, to make sure you can sop up oil. Yep, I'm going to move all the tools first. Grab the shop vac, maybe a hand broom. Going to clean this up. Fun times. Oh, and then I'll get the transmission pan gasket. I got a new one. A nice new Felpro unit. Some fresh Permatex. Silicone. This is the right stuff, because don't want to use the wrong stuff. And then get the trans pan taken care of. Then we're going to look into why we have no spark. But one disaster at a time. Let's clean this up. Now that that unpleasantness is done, you know all that cardboard I joke about my car collects? We're putting it to use. I got some cardboard down because frankly, no matter how hard you vacuum, you always miss some of those kitty litter jibbies, and they hurt when you lay on them or put your head on them or, you know, you roll over them, they hurt. Anyways, I got some cardboard down to help keep it cleaner. One, that way. And two, it's softer. It's better to lay on. I also got a fan at my back because I'm pouring sweat like there's no tomorrow. It's a bit hot here today. It's like 90 some odd degrees, but it's dry, so, you know, it's a dry heat, you always say. You always hear them say. It's true. So, we're going to use my favorite tool in the whole wide world. We're going to get that pan off. We're going to see how bad I screwed up that gasket. I'll show you when it gets down. I'm sure it's bad because it was leaking from everywhere. With a fresh tube of silicone, it's going to get silicone to no end. Fresh Felpro gasket, not quite as thick as the nice cork one that was there, but any port in a storm, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Anyways, let's start undoing stuff. Alright, so based off what I can see on the front here, I got it sealed. On the back, I totally missed it, screwed up a bolt hole, got the gasket all out of whack, and that was largely the source of my problem. So yeah, that's some fresh ATF. That Lowe's bucket over there, that's what I collected all the ATF in last night after I started having all the trouble. So I'm just going to dump this into that bucket, clean up those gasket surfaces, as well as, coming for a ride, all of those gasket surfaces. So yeah, gasket scraping time, then fresh gasket, fresh silicone, and hopefully we're sealed up at that point. Onward. Okay, gasket scraped, brand new tube of the right stuff. 90-minute gasket maker by Permatex. No, they're not a sponsor, although Permatex, call me. I got fresh Felpro gasket. This is part number TOS. TOS, not 18633. This happens to fit. Let's roll it in here. Look at this. The Turbo Hydromatic 250, 350, 375, 69 to 84, 91 to 92, all that good stuff. Anyways, Turbo 350. That's what we're doing here. Not that other stuff. Although I have heard these stock eliminator guys have had good luck with the metric Turbo 350s and, you know, being able to build those to no end. I imagine all the same rules apply, but fresh tube of silicone. Put that little cap there where it'll promptly get lost. Now this area where I had trouble, it's going to get gooped really well. Right here. And you got to find the obligatory air bubble. Why can't they just pack these things full? Because now I've lost that much of the tube. Jeez, thanks a lot, Permatex. It's like opening a bag of potato chips. You open the bag and it's half air. Yeah, I know, it's a little thick, but, you know, given that I had it leak just a bit ago, I'd rather have it not leak and give it all the silicone it can handle. Alright, we're going to lay this guy down. Get it pressed into place, make sure the bolt holes are happy. Now we're going to do it again. Especially that part. There we go. Glop it on there. Find the lid that you don't want to misplace because you don't want a tube that's just sitting there. We're going to take a finger. That's why I'm wearing gloves at the moment. We're just going to kind of ease this around. That part needs to stay this time. All right. Let's just put a couple of bolts through this and make sure they're going to stay. Ooh, bonus points if they happen to get held captive by the gasket. I might be able to just make these work. Okay, so in hindsight, maybe I went a little too heavy on the silicone. But really, guys, do we want this to leak or do we want it to stay put? I want it to stay put. If that means using a bit more silicone, done. I know a couple of these have the shift linkage that go through them. I'm kind of on the wrong side of the pan to know exactly which ones they are. But the point is I can always remove them to put the shift linkage bracketry back in. I kind of like that this gasket is holding the bolts captive. That's makes this job a lot easier. Yeah. Don't want to wear it on my shirt too much. That always makes for a sticky fine later. What the heck's sticking to me? Oh, it's black silicone. And I did grease up the I used some thread sealant on the drain plug slash transmission temperature probe. So, all the bolts are in there. All the bolts are happy. Let's go put this in the car. Okay, loyal fans, I figured out why we had a no spark situation. Distributor cap. When I removed my impromptu motor mount, the engine leaned back and the distributor cap contacted the firewall, giving it a kick, taking that little HEI post, which I don't have one around to show you right now. It took the HEI post and moved it off of the rotor, so it would spin all day long, not contact anything, but the little distributor coil button thingy-ma-what's-it was not contacting the rotor. So I just took the distributor cap up and flipped it over, looked at the rotor just to make sure nothing was broke, put it back down, hit the key, and we got spark. So now I got to fill the trans. I mean, it started in the the locked out timing, and I killed the key, so that way it wasn't gonna run the trans dry or anything. But we got spark. Gonna give it a couple more minutes. It's kind of warm. Gonna grab a drink, and then we fill up again. Now I collected most of the fluid that I could, minus what wound up on the floor. So I'm gonna put 5 or 6 quarts into it, watching the level on the dipstick a little bit more closely. And we're going to just be careful on our way through this, and hopefully no more leaks. Let's continue. Things are good. Trans is full. It's hot out. I'm a little bit wilted from the heat. I think it's time to go get a Powerade or something. Anyways, trans is full. It's still on jack stands. Ran it through the gears, one at a time. Of course, you can't run them multiple gears at a time. That's silly. Anyways, just one gear at a time. Checking the fluid level. Making sure that it's topped off. Between gear sets, because I don't want to run it out of fluid. It's brand new, so we don't want it broken yet. We don't want it broken ever, for that matter. Anyways, so I got all three gears, first, second, third. It actuates really responsively just on jack stands, first to second, second to third. It's a reverse manual valve body, which is going backwards, not forward. But it seems to be pretty happy. I'm going to let it cool off because I forgot to put the transmission temperature gauge wire back on it, and I got to put my drip catcher belly pad on it because the engine's not that tight. It does drip a little bit, and it's easier to catch the drips than it is to reseal the engine. So with that, I think I'm going to let it cool off. I need a drink, and it's time to get this off jack stands and go terrorize the neighborhood a little bit. But that'll probably be tomorrow. So we're going to end it off here. I'm excited to see how this thing shifts. I'm sure it's going to do way better than what I had, especially at the end of its life. Anyways, thanks for watching. I know some of those time lapses were a little grueling, but we'll try to keep them short. Thanks for watching. Drop me a comment if you're excited to see this thing go, because I know I sure am. Thanks.